All right, y'all. Now, speaking of DCU, let's get into Matt Reeves's DC universe, and let's talk a little bit about Jeffrey Wright. So Jeffrey Wright, who just revealed that he just got the script for the upcoming The Batman sequel. So I guess that's the fifth person that got to read the script. Because remember, James Gunn said there was only four people that read the script. So I guess he would be number five. Chanel number five. But anyway, so he recently did an interview with, I believe, Collider, if I'm not mistaken. So the Academy Award nominee discussed basically the negative reaction he received while, playing Commissioner Gordon, which I actually like this Commissioner Gordon. Now, is he one of my favorites? No, I will say that, oh my God, what is that actor's name? Why am I thinking Anthony Hopkins? I don't know why he's in my head, but the one that was in The Fifth Element, Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is like one of my favorite Commissioner Gordon. Like we've had so many Commissioner Gordons over the years, but I think like the one that most resonated because I think it's like the freshest Batman that we have in our mind, and it's like I mean, I had the Batman of my generation. I will say is the Michael Keaton one because I was a kid when that came out, and I'm obsessed with Batman Returns, but. I don't remember who the Commissioner Gordon was up in there, and I don't think it was like a high profile name. But when you look at Christopher Nolan's Batman universe, the biggest name that we have in that was Academy Award winner. I believe he has an Academy Award, if I'm not mistaken, Gary Oldman. And Jeffrey Wright, who I absolutely have loved him ever since he guest starred on New York Undercover. Yes, I'm taking it way back. Because Gary, I mean, Jeffrey Wright's been around forever. And even though the show was a hot ass mess, I definitely liked him on Westworld. I also liked him on The Last of Us, the last season. He had a bit, like he wasn't in it a lot, but yeah, the scene that he was in was definitely compelling. And Jeffrey Wright is definitely one of the best actors of our time. So yeah, and remember, once upon a time, he ain't the first person that people have dragged on social media that was cast in a Batman universe type situation where y'all was up in here bitching and moaning about the casting. Michael Keaton, y'all didn't even want him as Batman because he was doing like he was doing a lot of comedies, like yeah, he was doing a lot of comedic movies, and then excuse me, when he was cast to be in something serious like Tim Burton's Batman, y'all gagged. But then when y'all saw him on the screen, oh, y'all was living. Same thing with Heath Ledger. A lot of people did not want Heath Ledger as the Joker. Heath Ledger got up there and ate. And everybody's still eating their words to this day because they didn't believe this kid that did 10 things I hate about you and doing these little teen movies or whatever could get up there and actually give you a compelling performance playing this twisted character of the Joker. And since then, nobody has been able to like be as compelling as a Joker on screen. Yeah, we got Jack Nicholson. That's so it's like Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger, the only two that have really kind of brought something exciting and different to playing the Joker. Everybody else, we all had Barry Keoghan. It was whatever. We had Jared Leto. While he looked good, I liked the silver grills that he had in his mouth and all that other stuff, but it wasn't giving. But the overall look of the Joker, I liked. But as far as like his his isms and demeanor, it wasn't giving because I think we still had Heath Ledger fresh in our mind. So with all that being said, in his interview with Collider, because a lot of people was mad, and they decided to throw race in the situation, because of course, because we can't have a black commissioner. But here's the thing: when you look at somebody like a Commissioner Gordon, I don't think he 110% has to be Caucasian. Like when you're doing a side character or somebody who has like not a prominent role, you can switch up the race or the gender or whatever the case is. Why not? It's a different take. They do it all the time in the comics. So the Academy Award nominee discussed the negative reaction from some fans who felt the Dark Knight's longtime friend and ally should be played by a Caucasian actor, since the character has always been depicted as being white on the page. He said, quote, I really find it fascinating the ways in which there's such a conversation, and I think even more of a conversation now about black characters in these roles is just so effing racist and stupid. It's just so blind in a way that I find revealing to not recognize that the evolution of these films reflects the evolution of society, that somehow it's defiling this franchise not to keep it grounded in the cultural reality of 1939 when the comic books were first published. It's just the dumbest thing. It's absent all logic. And I agree with that because people have to realize is that Batman came out in 1939. So yeah, at the time when you're looking at it reflects the time. So yeah, they're going to have all the characters being white. But when you're telling a story that's what is it like almost 90 years old, give or take, um you can go in and make the changes and come up with new ideas and change and swap out the race or the gender of somebody when it's a different take of what you're going to do because there's only so many ways that you can make a IP exciting. So why not, if anything, if you mad about somebody's race being swapped out, then you know what, all those other Batman movies, you can go and watch Christopher Nolan's Batman, you can go watch um Tim Burton's Batman. You can go read the old comics if that's what you want to, if you're so mad about a commissioner being black because you have a hard time, resonating with the fact that of seeing a black man on your screen. And this is what I said that crap about Snoop Dogg, where y'all was up there talking about, with him in the homosexual stuff. They said, "Well, I gotta sit and explain gay this and then this up in a cartoon, whatever the case." The same thing white people be feeling when Commissioner Gordon, and it's a perfect example, Commissioner Gordon being black, and some racist sitting there watching this damn movie, and the little boy like, "Paw Paw, why I gotta? I mean, since when is Commissioner Gordon black?" Oh shit! Now I gotta sit and explain this to my child. Yeah, same thing. I know a lot of people. And you're gonna make me crazy. Oh, you reaching? No, I'm not reaching. Discrimination is discrimination, whether it's about sex, sexual orientation, gender, or race. Bigotry is bigotry. And if you're too obtuse to understand that, then I'm sorry, I can't help you. You just slow as fuck. So he also noted one of the reasons Batman has endured such a pivotal part in pop culture for some many years is because he was created to be open-ended, allowing for various different interpretations of the character in his world. And it's like, yeah, that's why I was like, when you look at Tim Burton's Gotham City, when you look at Matt Reeves's Gotham City, when you look at Christopher Nolan's Gotham City, all of them are vastly different. So I like the fact that it's open ended and you could tell different interpretations of this world. Or even down to the point, um, the Snyder versus Batman. That too. So he said, I feel that I own these stories as much as anyone, perhaps now because I'm part of them. I have the most skin in the game. Batman creators Bob Kane and Bill Finger are two Jewish guys up in the Bronx, imagining heroes and villains in a city that looked like the city around them at the time. But I think what they imagined was open ended. I think that the success and the longevity of these stories and characters are owning to the openness of their imaginations of what they created. And it's funny enough that when you say, like, yeah, the Batman creators grew up in the Bronx, so, and people wonder why Gotham City always reminds them a bit of when you look at it, it looks like New York. It's because they grew up in New York. So, yeah, it has that metropolistic vibe because that's where they grew up. And so I forget when they're gonna start working on the Batman. I do know it's coming out what, 2027? And then I believe that the Penguin's supposed to be getting a new season and all other stuff too. So shout out to Jeffrey Wright. I'm definitely looking forward to ooh, I'm definitely looking forward to this movie and everything when it's finally in the can and when we can finally see it because it's been far too damn long since we've been able to get to see this movie. And I definitely loved Robert Pattinson. That's another one too, perfect example. Robert Pattinson, remember, because he was from Twilight and all the other stuff, y'all didn't take him seriously, but then he started doing like these small little indie films and everything where he was owning his craft and he was trying to prove to y'all that he could act. And then when he finally got the Batman part, a lot of people was mad about that too. And I was looking at it like, I think this is perfect casting. I could definitely see him as a young, rough around the edges Batman who just starting out, and he was like what, 3 years into his Batmandom. And I kind of like the what he's brought to this character. So I'm looking forward to seeing like when we finally get this movie, how better at being Batman he's gotten, and how him seeing him a little more seasoned. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jeffrey Wright is going to bring as Commissioner Gordon and how much he's going to be in the new movie. Who knows? We'll find out when we see the damn film. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Jeffrey Wright and the racist bigots who apparently had a problem with him being cast in the role? I didn't mind it that much. I mean, me, any kind of representation that's different, any kind of different type of representation, I'm open minded to, as long as it works for the story that you're trying to tell. I don't get too hung up on race and gender and things in films. I'm just like, a lot of gender, a lot of women, a lot of people of color, a lot of queer people underrepresented in mainstream cinema as it is. So any kind of representation is a win for me, as long as it works within the story that the filmmaker and the screenwriters and everything is trying to tell. So I just wish everybody else was a little more open minded, like as just as open minded as I am. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts on this story in the comments down below.